are and or. If I'm looking at example 1, which ones of these are ands? James. B and D, the ones that face towards each other. So let's label those as and. And then we can tell that A and C are or graphs because they face away from each other. So really easy to tell what kind of inequality I'm writing, right? So let's start with letter A. I know I'm going to have an or. I start with that -2. It's an open circle. It's facing to the left, which are all the values less than -2. So I could say x is less than -2. I put an or in the middle. And then on the right side, I have an open circle on 5 pointing to the right, which means x is all the values greater than 5. I'm not telling you anything crazy here, right? Okay, let's look at an and. So I have on -2 a filled in circle, and it's pointing to the right. So that's all the values greater than or equal to -2. And on 5, an open circle facing to the left. Those are all the values smaller than 5. Remember, we can write and inequalities in 2 separate ways, so I could squish these all together if I wanted to. This says x is between -2 and 5. Any questions on that one? Can somebody help me write C? Who's got C? It's an or. Kai, you're not in this class. Brayden, do you have it, actually? Oh, my gosh. Go ahead, read.
I get to write it?
Do you want to write it?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Click on this.
What?
I got it.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Hope I'm running out of room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Questions on that one? Reed did a great job. Somebody want to help me with letter D? James, you can just tell it to me unless you really want to write. Beautiful. Any questions on those? Let's do a couple where we're solving. I won't make us do all of them, but I definitely want to do a couple of them. Oh, there they go. All right, for letter A, I'm looking at an OR graph. We always can solve these problems by splitting them into 2 inequalities and just solving each inequality individually. With an OR inequality, that's the only way we can do it. So for this OR inequality, I'm going to split this down the middle. So I remind myself I have 2 different inequalities to work on. I'm going to work on the 7v minus 5 is greater than or equal to 65 first. I'm going to add 5 to both sides. I'm going to divide by 7. To get v is greater than or equal to 10. I'm going to put the word or in the middle. And then I'm going to do the same thing to the right side here. Inverse order of operations. I'm not going to panic when I get to this step, right? I see -3v is greater than 0, but I'm not worried because 0 can be an answer. I'm going to divide by -3 on both sides. What's my answer when I divide by -3 on both sides? Jacob? There's a 0 over here. What else? There's a v over here. What's my sign in the middle? It's what? It's less than. We divided by a -3. Remember, that's my one rule for inequalities. Anytime I divide or multiply by a negative number on both sides, I gotta flip my sign. So I have a v is greater than or equal to 10 or v is less than 0. Remember, when I graph these, I'm going to put my smaller number on the left, my larger number on the right, and then pick a number in the middle. Open or closed circle on 0. Open or close this circle on 10. And then which way do my arrows point? Outwards, away from each other. Any questions on that? Okay, letter B. Here's an and problem. Remember, I have 2 options. I can split this or I can do it all in one. I'm going to write down what it looks like if I were to split this just so we can see. When I split it, I'm going to take everything on the left side. So negative 50 is less than 7k plus 6 over 2. And then I'm going to take everything on the right side. So 7k plus 6 over 2 is less than negative 8. And I could solve those 2 things separately if I put an and in the middle, which I probably should have. Right? That's how I can solve them separately. So if that makes sense to you, then that's the way you should do it. However, we have a second option. I can solve all 3 of these at the same time for and problems like this. Remember, to do that, I'm going to split this into 3 different parts. Whatever I do to the middle while I'm trying to solve for k here, I have to remember to do to the left and to the right as well. What is my first step here? Adriana? Multiply by 2. Why can't I subtract 6 first? Miss Lise, that comes first in SADMEG. Why can't I subtract? Do we remember what we said about fractions? About the top of the fraction? How it's trapped up there? Maybe? Remember, we were drawing parentheses around that top to remind us I cannot remove anything from the top of a fraction until I get rid of the bottom. So let's multiply by that 2 to get rid of it. That leaves me with negative 100 is less than 7k plus 6. Now that's free. And then negative 8 times 2, negative 16. And now we can go ahead and move that 6. Subtract 6. Negative 106 is less than 7k, is less than negative 22. Divide by the 7s. This is going to get me something real ugly here. I'm going to warn you right now. Negative 106 over 7, I'm going to leave as negative 106 over 7 is less than k, is less than negative 22 over 7. Which one's bigger? James? So that's going to go on the right-hand side. The negative 106 is smaller, so that goes on the left side. Can I pick a number that's somewhere in the middle? What could I put in the middle here? Literally any example. Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you could put negative 5. Because negative 22 over 7 is about like negative 3, so you could put a negative 5 in there. Could we make it even easier? Can I just go like negative 50 over 7? Like, I don't need to think so hard about it. I can just put any number that's in between negative 106 over 7 and negative 22 over 7, right? Open or close circles on these? Both open. Inwards or outwards? Which way are my arrows pointing? Inwards, towards each other. Any questions on that? Am I okay if I skip the next 2? Fantastic. Move on to the next page. I really got to hit home these applications because you will for sure see something like this on your test. So we want to make sure we got it, right? Number 1, define a variable. Do you know, I'm only through the first page of your quiz right now, but do you know how many of us are losing a full 1.5 points on that first page because none of us defined our variables, even though it was bold, underlined, italicized, define your variables? It's a lot of us. So we want to make sure our very first step always is to define a variable. So suppose there is one more test left and you scored a 78, a 78, and a 79% on the first 3 tests in science. What grade must you earn on the last test in order for your test average to be in the B range, which is between an 80 and an 89? What are we looking for here? What's the variable that I'm going to set up? What's my question asking me? James? Yeah, what grade must we earn on the fourth test? So X is going to be equal to the fourth test grade. Now it says we're averaging these three scores, right? We want our test average to be in the B range. How would I write that in an equation? Jaden? You're missing a piece. Plus X. So in order to find an average, we are going to add all of our pieces together. So my 4 scores, the 3 I've already taken and the 1 that I haven't, and divide by the number of things that we have. So if I have 4 scores, I'm dividing by 4. This is how we find an average. Ooh, that was terrible. Now I want that average to be between an 80 and an 89. So how would I write that as an inequality? Let's say I put the 80 over here and I put the 89 over here. What signs am I going to use? Autumn? Yeah, so I want greater than, oh no, wait. Yes, greater than or equal to, but it's flipped around, so it's actually 80 is less than or equal to our number, and then another less than or equal to 89. If you wanted to write these out as 2 separate problems, this left side here would look like 78 plus 79 plus X over 4 is less than or equal to 80. Or sorry, greater than or equal to 80. I'm writing it as one big long compound inequalities just so we can solve this. What can I do first? Before I start solving anything, can I do something first, Adriana? Well, that's going to be my first step. Can I make it simpler for myself? Can I combine some stuff first? What can I combine? Yeah, I can combine my like terms. Let's combine these 3 things right here. So I have 80 is less than or equal to, I don't even know what that is, 2 something? 235. And then, just like Adriana said, we're going to multiply by 4. And what I do to the inside, I'm doing to all 3 pieces here. Oh my goodness. What is that? 356. I'm going to run out of room here, but then I'm going to subtract my 235. So I get 85 is less than or equal to X is less than or equal to 121. I need to now write my answer as a complete sentence. So how would I describe what test score I need to get? James. Can we earn 121? Look at the instructions. What can we earn? What's the highest score? 100. So you need to earn between an 85 and a 100. Questions on that one? Can we just really quickly do this last one? Maybe just the setup if we can do it really fast. Your test grades in a science so far are 83 and 87. What possible grades can you make on your next test to have an average between 85 and 90? This word inclusive means we could equal 85 and we could equal 90, and that would be fine. How would we set this up? You got an example right in front of you. How do we set this up? Autumn. Perfect. Here's my average. It's greater than or equal to 85, but less than or equal to 90. And again, we would simplify this, combine our like terms, and then solve for x. I believe we end up with, I'll just do it really fast. 85 is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to 100. So in a sentence, you would say you need to earn between an 85 and a 100. Any questions on that?